Alright guys, well, let's go ahead and get into this. I don't know how long it's going to be. Something I want to try after we had a pretty good, interesting winter meetings. We discussed a lot of it on this channel. A lot of videos about it. And I wanted to make one just kind of summarizing everything. If I get to everything, if I leave out some stuff, go check the videos that I already made on that. But there's a couple of big things that I want to talk about here. And I'm going to just go ahead and get right into it. The one team that we really should talk a lot about is the freaking Red Sox here. Oh my gosh. They added starting pitcher Chris Sale, who is arguably might just be the best pitcher in the American League. He has been great. I mean, he's pretty good. Had the whole thing last year where he was the jersey thing. I don't really want to get too much into that. But even with that, I feel like he's still. I mean, it's just he was so good last couple years. That's just the one move they had. They also acquired reliever Tyler Thornburg, but they did have to give up Travis Shaw, who we thought at the beginning of the year was going to be their third baseman. Now it seems like when they're trading Travis Shaw for Tyler Thornburg to help out in the bullpen, that maybe Pablo Sandoval might get the starting position. Last year, we all thought it was his. I'm pretty sure a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, it's Pablo Sandoval's third base. It's his." After a couple weeks, he's gone, and we really didn't see much of him for the rest of the season. And so, yeah, Travis Shaw took over, had a couple injuries, didn't really play well after that, and they trade him over to get bullpen help, who had last year, Tyler Thornburg had a 2.15 ERA, which is pretty good for the Milwaukee Brewers. In addition to Chris Sale and Tyler Thornburg, Mitch Moreland on a 1-year deal. He can hit for power. Pretty good position at first base. He's got a Gold Glove at first base. So, damn, dude. Maybe the last two I talked about weren't that big of a deal, but you think about that. Chris Sale adding to a starting rotation who's got the Cy Young Award winner in Rick Porcello, they've got David Price. David Price, regular season, he's arguably one of the top 10 best pitchers in the MLB. Postseason, still hasn't shown up really. Though I think they're going to the playoffs, but when they're in the playoffs, you go Sale number 1, Porcello number 2, and maybe David Price number 3, but maybe David Price. I mean, if he comes at number 3, the Red Sox just need him to do something in the playoffs. Really, the Red Sox with a hell of a winter meetings. It looked like they were in. The one intriguing thing was when David Ortiz heard Chris Sale, he put out a tweet that says, "Oh, my boy Chris Sale." Is it like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's coming back." I think he's retired. He's just trying to get to all those people who want him to come back, but he's retired. It would be nice to see him back after the season he had last season, but it's gone, dude. He's retired. The other team I need to talk about, because they did a lot, whether you think it was good or bad, the Chicago White Sox. I mean, they traded Chris Sale. The people they got back, Yoan Moncada, who's the number 1 overall prospect. A lot of people are saying maybe he is already just ranked number 1. And they got out right-hander Michael Kopech and Victor Diaz, and outfielder Luis Alexander Baspe. I can't say his last name. Sorry if I butchered it, but damn. That was just the first thing. And Yoan Moncada and Michael Kopech in like Yoan Moncada's number 1. I think Michael Kopech might be in the top 10. So, wow. Like, yeah, that helped out their farm system a lot. A lot of people compare Yoan Moncada to so many people, but you know, you gotta wait to see what he does. I mean, he could be all those things people are saying that and comparing him to, but you never know what's really going to happen. Then they go out and trade Adam Eaton to the Washington Nationals, which we'll talk about the Washington Nationals later on in the video. They traded Adam Eaton to the Washington Nationals and got back number 1 pitching prospect Lucas Giolito, Reynaldo Lopez, and Dane Dunning. You talk about trading 2 players and pretty much, like, I mean, they got so much back. I mean, if they were not ranked one of the top farm systems, they got back so much. And they're still probably not done. Even though the winter meetings are over, they can still go in and trade more people. I mean, a lot of people are thinking that they're going to trade people like Todd Frazier, Jose Abreu. I really do see David Robertson going because the closing pitching market's crazy right now. Melky Cabrera, probably. But the one guy I see them holding on to out of that list would be Jose Quintana. He's got a lot of years left as a control with a really good contract for your team. So, and he's still pretty young. I mean, I would keep him. You did just get a whole bunch of pitching prospects, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'd keep him. Let him be your ace, you know? So, White Sox. Just insane. Maybe we're gonna go into the New York Yankees. I gotta say, the New York Yankees. God, I mean, okay. Let's go back to the beginning of last season when they traded for Aroldis Chapman. But when they traded for him, they didn't give up much prospects for him. It was not nobody who was going to blow your mind. The Reds really just were dumb in that situation. And then has a good season for the Yankees. They trade him over to the Cubs and get Gleyber Torres and other prospects, in which that was crazy because they traded him. They traded for him for prospects you really are not going to go crazy over. Trade him over to the Cubs and get a lot of prospects, like really good prospects. And then you basically hand him the Cubs. He goes, here you go. They're like, here you go, have your World Series, but he's still ours. Comes back, signs this dude to a record 5-year, $86 million contract. That is a lot for a closer, but the closing market right now is crazy because, you know, a lot of people used to be anybody could be a closer. Now it's just there's specialists for it or something. So it's going up. Mark Melancon had a $16 million something deal, and then it just jumps way up, about 20 something million to 86 million for the Yankees. But hey, that is my whole deal on that. I mean, I wouldn't sign him for that much money, to be honest. But still, they got good prospects back, and then they just signed them back anyway. So, hey. And then they also did add Matt Holliday, who could help out with the young players on the roster like Greg Bird and Aaron Judge, and Gary Sanchez could really learn a lot from a guy like Matt Holliday, who's won a World Series, been in a lot of playoff games, and knows how to play winning baseball. And he's probably still got some pop, especially in Yankee Stadium. So, but I thought we were going to see more from the Yankees. I thought they would maybe trade some more people like Headley and Ellsbury. Brett Gardner, I thought, because he's been in trade talks for a couple of years now, but they didn't trade him again. Maybe they might, because the winter meetings doesn't mean there's done with free agent signings, trades. Because there's a lot of free agents who really have not signed yet. There was not much signings in the winter meetings this year. It was mostly trades, because of the whole new CBA and all that crazy mumbo jumbo. I mean, okay, we'll talk about the Dodgers. I feel like we're gonna talk about the Dodgers now. They signed Rich Hill to a 3-year, $48 million deal. I thought about it. He's like 30, almost 40. Hasn't really done much in the MLB. He had a good season last year and a good season before that, but really, can you trust him with the blisters? Will he be healthy? Because they've gone through and they signed all these people like Scott Kazmir, McCarthy, and none of those has really backed up Kershaw in this rotation. And if Rich Hill goes out there and does that, that's good for the Dodgers. But I still feel like they're going to go out there. They're going to need to go out there and get another starting pitcher because somebody needs to come out and play besides Kershaw. If Rich Hill is that guy, good for them. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know at this point. I mean, it's good for Rich Hill. You know, he played in the independent leagues and all this, comes back, has a good couple years, and gets him a big contract. So, you know, good for that. Good for him. I mean, really. So, yeah, and then I want to go to a team who was, the deal surprised me, and I was shocked that they did it. I like the deal for the Rockies, and then you start thinking about it more, They've got so many freaking players now. They signed Ian Desmond to a 5-year, $70 million contract. He's been, I don't know, off and on, I guess, the last couple of years, except for last year. He was amazing for the Texas Rangers. Now, they've got so many people in the outfield. He goes to first base. I mean, he's so athletic. Why would you want him at first base? There are rumors that they're trying to get on Trumbo. Now, to me, if they get Trumbo, they put him at first base. Then they put Ian Desmond in the outfield and trade Charlie Blackmon or Cargo. I think you get a lot back for those two. And you keep Dawn in there in the outfield with Desmond, and that could be two key guys in the outfield plus whoever they keep out of Cargo or Charlie Blackmon. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're trying to put themselves in a position to go out there and win now. But I don't know, it's just a crazy logjam of position players everywhere. You know, they're pitching, who knows at this point. I mean, the pitching in Colorado is not good. They've got a young rotation. John Gray and all of them seem to have some potential, but who knows how it'll be in Colorado. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But the Colorado Rockies confused me with that deal. Ian Desmond, great player. Going to play a lot better with the home run average in Colorado. But you just think about the lineup. Nolan Arenado, Cargo and Ian Desmond, DJ LeMahieu. I mean, they've got so much crazy power. And then you add in, if they do add in a guy like Mark Trumbo, oh my gosh. They just got to go out there and get some pitchers or something. But, yeah, the Rockies, I don't know what they're doing, but it seems like they know what they're doing, I guess you could say. Now I want to talk about San Francisco Giants. They traded for Chris Heston. He pitched a no-hitter in 2015. They traded, gave him the Seattle Mariners for a player to be named later. So that's one thing they did. But the main thing they did was sign a closer, which they needed a closer. You know, you go back to all their World Series win the last couple of these seasons, they've always had that one good closer. Last season they really didn't have it. Hasn't been consistencies in the bullpen, and they go out there and just say, you know, that's not happening anymore. We've got our closer for the next 4 years. A $62 million contract that took Papelbon's record for the highest, and then Chapman just blew it out of the water. Will Kenley Jansen blow it out of the water? I have no idea. We're going to save all the people who did not sign a contract later on because there's a lot to talk about with those guys. I mean, just what? I have no idea, but yeah. So we had our World Series champs, Chicago Cubs, make a deal. They had Aroldis Chapman. Obviously, they don't have him anymore. So they trade for Wade Davis. He's only got 1 year on his contract. Had an injury last year. Didn't play much last year. But over the last 3 or 4 years, I believe it was like a 1.18 ERA. That is insane. Only 3 home runs off of him. Okay, that is pretty good numbers. But I can understand why people get mad. Because Jorge Soler, he has so much potential. He's not gotten to play the last couple years because they've had so many players in the outfield. And now they've signed Jon Jay. So he had really no place to go. He wasn't still going to get much playing time. So it was smart to trade him. But for a guy with just 1 year left on his contract, for a player who you're going to have for a couple more years and has a potential of having so much home runs and being a great player, I think both teams got what they wanted out of it. Because the Royals, seem to be maybe starting to trade some off of their big players, because with that new CBA, if they give them a qualifying offer and they don't accept, usually you will get back a first-round pick. I believe that's how it works. I mean, I'm a little bit iffy on some of these crazy stuff. Even though I watch baseball all the time, I just still, some things just get me for some reason. I don't know why, but... And then next year starting, it won't be a first-round pick anymore. So maybe they want to trade these guys, because before, oh yeah, they leave, we're going to get a first-round pick out of it. Not anymore. So they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna start trading off everybody. I know a lot of teams are looking into Jared Dyson, which they should be. He's a pretty good player. He's got some speed, can steal the base, can hit for a good average. So teams that I've heard looking into Jared Dyson are like the A's. Teams, I don't know who else, but Jared Dyson seems to, he might go. I don't know who else they're going to trade. I don't. I think they have Eric Hosmer for a couple more seasons. So if I'm right or wrong on that. So we did see the Nats trade for Adam Eaton. They did give up a lot. Lucas Giolito and 2 other pretty good pitching prospects. A lot of people were bashing this trade, but here's my thing on it. Adam Eaton has been really consistent for 2 years. He has played great. They needed that outfielder. They were in on McCutchen. They were out. They were just wasn't happening, I guess. And then they were supposedly in on a closer. They might still be in on Kenley Jansen, but we'll talk about him. I think I know where he might go, but I want to save it for the end, or when we get into that stuff. But they get Adam Eaton, pretty consistent player. I believe he's got 5 more years of control. That is good. I mean, they still don't know what they're gonna do with Danny Espinosa. They need a closer. Here's what I think. They need a closer. You got Danny Espinosa really with no position. Unless you want to keep him and just use him when there's an injury, I wouldn't do that, because you got Trey Turner at shortstop. Why would you need Danny Espinosa anymore? Let's be honest, Trey Turner is going to be good. So, and Danny Espinosa is pretty good. He had a pretty good season. So, here's my thing. They need a closer. Why not trade Danny Espinosa for a closer and put yourself maybe in a position to get out of the first round or the second round and make it to the World Series? Because everybody, I guarantee you, before last couple seasons, they've always said, oh yeah, we're going to give it to the Nationals. I think the Nationals are going to win. Nationals. They have a pretty good season. First round of playoffs, you're gone. I mean, it's just, I just gave up on them last season. Like, I don't think they're going to do it, because you're all going to say, yes, the Nationals are in the playoffs, but yet they don't do anything in the playoffs. So they're going to have to go there. I feel like they're going to go after David Robinson. Trade Danny Espinosa for him. I mean, I don't know what else they can do. I just want to see them win a championship, so everybody can stop making them the preseason favorites or spring training favorites, whatever. So now, I think we got like one more deal to discuss. It is the Steve Pearce to the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm a Toronto Blue Jays fan. When I saw this, at first I was like, yep, I guess we're out on Encarnacion. Here's the deal. I think it's a great signing. He had 1 year. It was like 2013, 2014. He had 22 home runs. Had a great year had a great season that year. I mean, with the Orioles, he did good. Like, it was pretty impressive or whatever. Get traded to Tampa Bay. Had some injuries. Can't stay healthy much. But last year, when he was healthy for the 80-something games, he had a pretty big high on base percentage. So I think going to a place like Toronto, maybe he can get back up to that home run total that he had in Baltimore. And they added him along with Kendrys Morales, if I can get his name out, who, let's be honest, was a pretty big part of that World Series win for the Royals. Didn't play well last year, not really that healthy. Bring him in, have him play in the Rogers Center, where you know you can hit home runs there. Okay, I like the two players added on. If everybody's healthy this season, I can kind of see the Blue Jays contending for a wild card spot. Okay, I think that's fine. But we still can't. Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion, we still need another outfielder. So, Edwin Encarnacion, it feels like teams are just leaving or they're going out. I'm like, no, they're not want to go. They're not wanting to go the price where they want to go because he's a little bit older. Are you kidding me? The last 5 seasons, have you seen this dude's numbers? Are you insane? I don't care. Sign him for a 3-year deal. The dude deserves the money. He has played outstanding. Come on. Toronto, you see him out there. You gave him his best option so far for the $80 million for 4 or 5 years. He declined it. The GM of the Toronto Blue Jays was on Intentional Talk, I believe, and he said Edwin Encarnacion has the right to go out there and test the free agent market. He does. Done great for the Blue Jays. Him and Jose Bautista helped put them back on the baseball map. If they would have waited, I'd say a couple of weeks, I bet you he might have accepted that trade. I mean, that free agent signing. I mean, I think the teams that are in on him now are maybe the Rangers. They say the Indians, but do they have the money? I mean, let's be honest. And maybe the Blue Jays. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen with Encarnacion. He did not sign the winter meetings. His slugging mate, my favorite player, Jose Bautista, had some offers. Well, there was room to be offers. Orioles, I feel like would have been a great fit, but the fans don't like him because the rivalries, and Jose Bautista is a pretty passionate player and got a little frustrated a couple of times and started some fights with the Orioles. So, yeah, I mean, they don't like him, but come on now. You're going to like him when he's hitting bombs out of the stadium alongside all the other people who can hit bombs out of that stadium. I mean, come on now. But here's the deal. They didn't do it because the fans don't like him. Where else does he go? He wants a big year deal. He wants a couple years, maybe like 3. I say he goes 3, maybe 50 mil. Maybe I'm giving him too much because he's my favorite player, but sign him to a team because the last couple seasons it was 30 to 40. Last year he had an off year because he was not healthy for the whole season, but when he was, his on-base percentage was outstanding because he gets walked like crazy. And when he connects with that, I mean, it's gone. It's out of the park. So, why have you not signed him? It goes the same for Trumbo. I feel like the sluggers in this market, Edwin Encarnacion, Mark Trumbo, Jose Bautista, and Mike Napoli. What happened to all the sluggers? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the things with Jose Bautista is because he's got that qualifying offer. You're going to have to give up the draft pick. So some teams, that's another reason, besides age, that some teams were kind of unwilling to trade for him. I understand that, but come on. The dude's going to be hitting home runs, and I don't think, maybe he might be worried about the draft pick, so but he's going to be hitting so many home runs if he's healthy. Yeah, that's just my whole thing about the Toronto Blue Jays. They still need an outfielder. The Mets possibly looking to trade Jay Bruce. Fowler has gone to the St. Louis Cardinals. Just happened before I did this video. Fowler's out. Carlos Gomez is out. I don't think they were really ever in on that. On him. We've got Trumbo out there. I don't know if we'll go out and sign him. I don't know. I just feel like you just go back with Jose Bautista. I don't know what else they've got, unless they're going to trade for Jay Bruce. Or there's one other possibility. Don't know how if it could happen. Don't know if we have the prospects to do something like that. That is Andrew McCutchen. I don't know how he stays a Pittsburgh Pirate. I don't know how he stays a Pirate. They have dangled him around in trades. His name has been surrounded in trades. I mean, I just don't know. I don't see how you keep him, because they want to move him over to put Marte in center. He doesn't want that. He wants to be a center. He's your franchise player for the last couple seasons. They talked about all this. I think, why would you want to have him at spring training? Because when all the reporters come out asking all these questions, it's going to be a distraction. Kind of just like it was for Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista in the spring training for this season. So, I don't know. Washington Nationals were in on McCutchen. Didn't happen. Didn't. Washington Nationals were in on a lot of players. I mean, come on. But, I don't know. I would trade McCutchen. I mean, really, if they don't, it's fine. He's still going to be a hell of a player. But maybe, because he had an off year last year, maybe he comes back, plays so damn well the first half, trade deadline, that one team's really going to need that center fielder. Then you're going to get all the prospects you want for him. I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird that they didn't trade him. I mean, yeah. Oh, there's one day we didn't talk about, because I said Carlos Gomez went to the Texas Rangers. He did. 1 year. Don't know how much it was at this point, but good signing, because he was on the Astros. Terrible. But I'm going to be brutally honest. He was terrible. Comes over to the Texas Rangers, finds that swing again, and had a good second half with the Texas Rangers. So they did and they signed the player that they were familiar with, kind of like what the Yankees did with the closer. And they signed him to a 1-year deal to see if he can go back out there and play like he did. Kind of doing what they did for Ian Desmond. Ian Desmond had an off year. Didn't want to take that much money from Nationals for some reason. I would. But they signed him. He has an outstanding year. Maybe they're trying to do something like that. I don't know if that's what the thought process is with that. But, hey, that's what I would have been thinking. And then there's another free agent signing. Wilson Ramos to the Rays on a 2-year deal. First year, I doubt he plays this season, because he just had the ACL injury in like September, maybe a month before that. So I doubt he comes back first couple months. Maybe trying to get back on the field later on in the season near the end. But in that 2018 season, if the Rays are competitive, I feel like he would do great for the Tampa Bay Rays. If they keep their players. But yeah, I would say the winners for the winter meetings were the Red Sox and White Sox. The Sox, they were the winners. They did everything. The prospects the White Sox got back were insane. Chris Sale, Tyler Thornburg, and Mitch Moreland were good pickups for the Red Sox. Losers in this whole situation, I'm going to be honest with you, are not really teams in my opinion. They're Andrew McCutchen, because he's gotten so much trade talks but didn't get traded. He's got to stay on the team. Where, I mean, it kind of mean, I don't know how I would take that, but in the whole slugging market, besides Ian Desmond, for players, I mean, come on. It was the weird winter meetings. We did have some great deals. That Red Sox for Chris Sale blew my mind. I honestly had him going to the Nationals, but it didn't happen. It fell apart, and he went to the Boston Red Sox. Good job for the Red Sox. They're winning the championship this year. I'm making a bold statement. But let me know if you like this kind of... I did a short podcast. I'm coming to it, and it might go to 30 minutes. But if you would like to see me do more of these, maybe weekly, or maybe every other week, maybe not just baseball, other sports. I do watch basketball, football, baseball. So maybe I'll do a Something Epic sports podcast every week. But let me know what you thought about this video. Like, subscribe, and comment. I am out. Thank you so much for watching.